Hope everyone's doing well. We're still in it. We're still in this Corona stuff. The world's getting crazy. Uh, Politically speaking, there's a lot of unrest around the country. Lots of stuff going on. But I want to urge you to have faith. Now, faith's a pretty tricky thing, right? You tell someone to believe, and they're like, "Why should I believe? I can't see it. I can't touch it. I don't. I want to see it with my hands. I want to see it with my eyes and touch it with my hands." And you can relate with that, right? I mean, we are all modern people. We grew up with the scientific method, processes of testing information, experimentation, and hypothesis, and going through to get the best results possible. So when we use this word faith, it's not uncommon to get maybe a roll of the eyes or, just a negative response. Because the idea of faith is that you are trusting in a power that's above yourself, that's bigger than you, that you know that you're not God in the world and that you believe there is a God, which, people roll their eyes at that too. They think it's a better chance that everything just magically came together. Big bang and boom, civilization. But I find it much more likely that there was some architecture behind this, some structure, and you can look at the universe and find a lot of structure. So we place our faith in something bigger than ourselves. And that's what we're supposed to do. And this kind of rubs us individually minded people the wrong way, right? Because individualism pushed all the way to an extreme could see yourself as totally in control of your life. And as an American and as an individualistic person myself, that's the way I would like to look at my life. I am in absolute control of my surroundings and of all the decisions I make and my beliefs. But as a Christian, we do have to cede some ground to God. We understand that we aren't in control of the world around us, that we aren't in control of all our circumstances. And control is a big key word when it comes to faith. See, the scientific minded of us want to control things. We don't like seeing things that we can't understand or can't comprehend. We don't like the questions that don't have the answers right there mathematically that we can see and calculate, put formulas together to solve problems. Anything that brings up a big question mark makes us feel weird, makes us feel like something's wrong, or makes us feel superstitious, like we're believing in something that doesn't exist. So when you talk to people with beliefs like this, they can be pretty dismissive with the idea of faith. They doubt that things happen the way you believe that they did. And doubt's another good word. If we look at the Bible, you can read the story of doubting Thomas. Thomas, one of the 12, one of the disciples. He's one of the people who was closest to Jesus as he walked this earth. And even he didn't believe it. Didn't believe that Jesus had come back. He says, "I won't believe it until I put my hands in where the nails went in the wound on the side." And boom, Jesus was there. And we don't have the privilege, as Thomas did, of walking with Jesus or of Jesus physically appearing when we have our doubts. But I feel like it's kind of a similar situation. People need to see things to believe them. People need to touch things. People need to be touched emotionally, to have their needs fulfilled. And that is the role of Christ. That's what Christ does in our lives. He takes care of those things. We have to be the Christ that they see in the world. We have to be his hands and feet. We have to let them see that Christ is not a dead belief. It's not a superstition from bygone eras, because you can still see Christ in the world around us through our actions, not just through our lip service or through the things we say, but through what we do, through how we impacted their life. And we might not even say that, but they know. And we do need to make sure that people know where we stand on these issues. People think that they can live in a world without God. But the very values that they say they have come from a Christian system, a Christian worldview, a view of a God who loved us, who sacrificed everything for us, who taught us how important truth, forgiveness, and love were. In the very societies that we have sculpted from that worldview exist today, and they try to take God out of those things. And the best answer, the best argument for why should I believe in a God I can't see is you got to have faith. And people don't like hearing that. People don't like when you take that route with them. But that's really what it comes down in Christianity to. It really comes down to being able to trust in something bigger than yourself. It comes to knowing that you don't have the answers and submitting to someone who does. Even if you don't understand everything that's going on, even if you don't have the calculations for why this happens or that happens, you know they're there. You know someone does have the answers, and you've put your faith in them. And I don't think it's a wrong thing to doubt. I think we were giving rational minds, curious minds, that God wanted us to explore the world that He created for us. He gave us a mind that wanted to find the answers, that wanted to know and yearn and search for truth. I think about the great scholastic movement. That was a movement by Christians whose goals, St. Thomas Aquinas, was to find the truth of God's universe, to search it without fear of whatever answers they might find, because they had no fear that God would be disproved or unmade by any findings that they might see in the universe, because they know that God is bigger than our insecurities about our faith, about our limitations as humans and the scope of reality that we have, our worldview. They weren't scared, and neither should we. We should be like those who founded our universities and who founded the scholastic movement. This desire to know more about the world we live in, because that'll show us more about the God that we love. We obviously have the Bible, and that's number one resource. But He also has made this whole creation for us to explore and learn about who He is. And we shouldn't be scared of what we find out there. And we should have and build a faith that isn't supposed to exist in the absence of doubt, but a faith that withstands the crushing waves that doubt brings when it does show up. A faith that is encouraged by doubts, because if you're too rigid, if you build too rigid of a system, the first time you have your doubt, you're going to shatter. And you can't be too loose with it either. If you're too loose, the first ideas that come swimming by, you'll jump on any idea and you'll find yourself unfettered and blowing like the wind, unhinged. There are standards in Christianity. There are, absolutes that we feel exist about God and His nature. But we shouldn't be fearful of knowing that nature better. And we have to be willing to show the world who our God is through our actions. We have to show them that Christ is alive today and physically working in the world around us, because He is. But it might take us for them to be able to see it. It might take us for it to be real to them again. Maybe it's touching us or encountering us where they feel the wounds, where they see the nails and the wound in the side through our encounters with them. We can all be Thomas, and we've all been Thomas. But we have to build a faith that's stronger than the doubt that comes our way. Hope everyone's doing good. Keep everybody in your prayers. There's a lot going on in the country. And just pray for truth and liberty that'll prevail. Hope everyone's having a good one. Be safe.